Build Your Business listeners. This is Matt Reynolds, your host for the podcast, and you are listening to what we are calling the legacy episodes. And really, these are the pre-episodes that really led to this podcast, the Build Your Business podcast. This is really my life's work and my brother's life's work in building your business. And so they were originally published in the Barbell Logic podcast as part of the Principles or Coaching Success series, but really touch on similar topics to the Build Your Business podcast: how to improve your productivity, how to set and accomplish your goals, deprioritize urgent tasks, to focus on what is most important to you, and most importantly, to become a better person and leader and business owner overall. I'm proud to bring you these podcasts. Again, many years of life's work, several years of podcasts, and several decades of business ownership. Hope you enjoy them and learn from them. You're listening to Barbell Logic,
the podcast where we talk about what it means to experience strength
and how you can use simple, hard, and effective strategies in training and nutrition to improve your life.
It starts with meeting you where you are right now and finding lasting solutions.
Welcome to the show. You're listening to the Barbell Logic podcast. This is another coaching success series. I am your host, Matt Reynolds. Thanks for being here. If you get value out of these podcasts, it would be such an honor if you would give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Apple Podcasts certainly is probably the thing that drives the algorithm. So share this with another coach, friend, business owner. Even if they're not in the fitness industry, I think there's a lot of value to be extracted from these, where I'm just trying to give you everything that I've learned about business over the years completely for free. I think I've said this before, we're a service business. We make our money on service and coaching. And so we're not a content company. We put out a ton of content for free. And for us, that strategy is really, and we'll talk about this soon, about why content is king. That content, which is a fair amount of expense and time to put together, is really the thing that helps get people into the funnel. And once they start consuming your content and they see you as an expert in the field, whether that's coaching or business or whatever it is that you do, some percentage of those people who are consuming content, and often it takes several years of consuming their content, they'll become paying clients. And so we put this out, one, because it takes up a tremendous amount of bandwidth in my brain, and I like to get it out. That's why I developed the podcast in the first place. We put out a tremendous amount of content, and there's a couple reasons for that. I mean, at this point, the business is doing very well, and it takes up a tremendous amount of bandwidth in my brain, and it allows me to sort of teach the world about these things. We have an attitude of abundance, not scarcity. And so if I can help other coaches in the industry improve the quality of life of other people, that's just fine. I don't need to hoard clients for Barbell Logic or for Turnkey Coach or whatever it is. And so one of the things I want to talk about today, because I think it's appropriate for this time of year, is structuring your holiday sales or promotions. And so here we are in mid-November. Next week is Thanksgiving. This will come out the Friday before Thanksgiving. And so these are things you should be thinking about right now. As a matter of fact, I probably should have come out with this podcast a week or two ago to let you do some work, but you've got some time this weekend. If you listen to this on Friday or Saturday, in the first day or two when it comes out, you can do a lot of work this weekend and be ready to go on Monday or Tuesday next week on how to structure holiday sales. And so I want to be clear, first off, this is not about taking advantage of people when they have money to spend. It may sound that way, but there's two pieces to this. One is that we have to understand as coaches the cyclical yearly nature of fitness. I've done this for 16 plus years, right? So we know that during the holidays, people have money to spend. They're willing to purchase your coaching, your programming, gym memberships, things like that, gift cards, buy these as gifts for their friends or family, maybe to be used starting in January, but that becomes kind of a main Christmas present. And so I think that's important. So there is capital, there's money to spend, there's capital to deploy. They're going to deploy it somewhere. They're going to spend that money somewhere. Why not use it in a way that's going to either improve their quality of life or the quality of life of their friends or family? And so I think it's important to understand where people are at in that cyclical nature. And then I think we go through a major change in January, on January 1, and we'll talk about that as well. So I want to both address how you might structure holiday sales and promotions during the holidays, kind of pre-Christmas, and then how you might structure them in January for the New Year's boom, right? And so from mid-November to mid-December, so really from now through mid-December, and it actually kind of slows down the last week or 10 days before Christmas. And I think a lot of that is just people have kind of purchased all their Christmas presents, or they're busy and they're traveling and they're, there's Christmas parties and all the things. And so you've got about a month right now. People have money to spend and they're willing to buy often multiple months at a time of your service, of your product. This is often when we'll run annual membership deals where people can pay for the entire year of, say, 2024 in late 2023. Maybe we give them the rest of 2023 for free for a discounted rate for an annual membership for 2024. That's the type of thing you can look at. Obviously, they're willing often to buy like a 3-month membership to your gym or for your coaching, or gift cards for family and friends, as well as add-on kind of retail items. And so we sell a lot of clothes, a lot of hoodies, things like that. So if you have that stuff ready, it's probably too late if you don't. But anything that you can offer as an add-on this time of year is a great thing to do. So again, you think about if somebody were just practically, they're opening up a gift at Christmas, they probably don't just want the gift card or the coupon that says, hey, you've got 3 months of free coaching at Barbell Logic or with whoever. But there's also a hoodie, or there's an actual tangible gift there where they immediately feel like they're kind of part of that community, part of that family. And then they can start the training either right away or start it in January. That all works really well. So what you have to realize is that the shift occurs that right now, especially in America and the Western world, Thanksgiving and Christmas is the big holiday spending season, and people spend a lot of money. And I certainly have concerns about next year, but it appears right now that the world has not felt the credit crisis that's probably to come. And so they're going to spend money this Christmas. I think there may be a rude awakening in early next year for a lot of people. But for now, it looks like people are just going to continue to spend money on Christmas and holiday sales and gifts and whatnot. And so, again, I believe very much in what we do and how we improve people's quality of life. And whether that's, you're listening to this and you're a coach at Barbell Logic, or whether you're just a coach or a training sort of fanatic, it's part of your hobby. These are great things because it improves our quality of life. It's so much better than the other junk that is going to be, the future junk in a garage sale 5 years down the road. And so I think making purchases that are less about things and more about experiences do well. Even when I've bought, really cool, toys or whatever for my kids, I've noticed it's the ones that give them the best experience is the thing that lasts. So, I bought them a trampoline years ago, which we don't have anymore because the HOA doesn't really allow that. But a trampoline was a great purchase. So that was a cool toy, but they used it all the time. And then they got really good at trampoline. And then they actually became competitive in gymnastics, and it carried over there, like a good bicycle or whatever that thing is, right? And so if we do strength training and coaching and nutrition coaching and improving quality of life, I really think it's about the best place you can spend your money for friends and family. And so utilize that and leverage that, because you have a thing to offer that's so much better than just the junk, the new iPhone or whatever it is, right? So we know we bring significantly more value to someone than a piece of technology or something that is on, the Amazon deal of the day or whatever that is. And so I think this is a really good time to do that. And so the thought process is, rather than making a frictionless sign up, which I think is important in January, and we'll get to here in a minute, it's actually more about helping people understand, like, look, you could buy a 3-month package up front at a discounted rate. You're able to probably see a significant improvement in top line revenue in December and November and December specifically, going into the holiday season to end the year well from a revenue perspective, from a business perspective. And you can be proud that the thing that you're selling is going to bring value and quality of life improvement to people. So it's not about playing on them or preying on them even because they have money to spend, because they're going to spend it regardless. So the key during the pre-Christmas holiday season is really top line revenue, because that capital is going to be deployed and spent somewhere. So you might as well entice people to make a decision with their money that improves the quality of life for them or those they love. And so the key here is that you don't want to get drowned out with all the other Black Friday deals. Man, I have just learned to stay like Thanksgiving weekend off of social media because it is so inundated with Black Friday deals. And advertising is like, you're going to get your lowest ROI during that time. So that's not the way to do it. Instead, what I would suggest is either, if you're ready, by early next week, is to launch those sales on Monday, Tuesday before Thanksgiving, before that stuff. And other retailers have started to figure this out, right? So you're seeing these Black Friday sales now start on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, or they open up at noon on Thanksgiving, and people actually, which I hate that because I want people to just hang out with their family and eat good food and have good conversation and watch football and do the things. But that is expanded obviously forward because by the time you get to Black Friday, it's just a disaster. So I love to advertise, and you don't even have to pay for, you don't have to do paid advertising necessarily. It depends some about the type of service you offer. If it's a local gym, you can get a lot of return on investment for like a $20 advertisement on Facebook and Google because you're just specifically targeting people in your zip code. If you're a business like ours, that's sort of an international business, we're not going to spend money on advertising there because it's just going to be drowned out by everybody else. And so what I would focus on is the days that are less important to the other retailers. So I love Sunday nights. So again, maybe you listen to this and by Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, people are always home on Sunday evening. There's not a lot going on. They're looking at their phone. They say like, oh, here's a deal that I could grab. And this is a great Christmas gift for, a loved one, a spouse, a kid, a family member, whatever, on Sunday night. So I like the Sunday night before Thanksgiving. I like the Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Certainly you can continue to run those deals during Thanksgiving. And then I really like the Sunday after Thanksgiving, that Sunday when everybody's been busy and family and food and shopping. And then that Sunday after Thanksgiving, post something late morning, early afternoon. People are at home, they've kind of crashed, and they're just looking at their phones and they can see those advertisements or that marketing, that value proposition. Maybe that's a piece of content about why this is a great time of year to improve your strength and quality of life. Maybe it's a plea like you don't have to put on 10 pounds this holiday season. You can talk through those things. And so that's a really great spot to be. And then that kind of Sunday after Thanksgiving, whatever deal you run then could actually run through Christmas at that point, right? That's important. Now, that said, you want to do what you can to create legitimate, authentic urgency with the potential purchaser. So if you say, everybody's seen this, right? Like online coaches, like I'm opening 2 spots and only 2 spots. And it's probably bullshit. If 5 people signed up, they'd probably take all 5, right? You need to actually be honest about that thing. We've tried to do that at Barbell Logic. So like for the first 10 people that take advantage of this promotional deal, they're going to get this. And then we've done this lots of years. And then we have 100 people try to do it. And we sold it to the first 10. But we then email the other 90, or if you've got 5 more that, try to take advantage of that deal and that deal is closed, you can email them with a follow-up deal that is not quite as good as the deal they were trying to get, but still at a significant discount from what your normal services are. And remember, if you're selling multiple memberships or multiple months at a time, like 3 months or 6 months or a year, or whatever that is, this is a great time to do that. There are a percentage of people who are not going to use it. They're going to pay for it, and then they're going to sort of flame out after January, February. And again, I don't want to do the Planet Fitness model. Like we're going to fight for our clients and try to keep consistency up. But you also just have to understand the nature of business, that it is the case. Like people have the money to spend. Not everybody's going to use it. Some people are going to be MIA, and that money is in the bank. And so rather than charging them monthly, this is a great time to sell the kind of packages, 3 months at a time, or, buy 3 months of strength coaching and get 3 months of nutrition coaching for free, or something like that. Those are great things to do during the holiday season, pre-Christmas, right? And so you want to create that urgency. So if you say the first 5 people to use this deal get 50% off, be authentic, hold to that. And then if others come in after, you can have a follow-up deal that you email them privately and personally that maybe has a discount code on the website that isn't quite as good, but is still a significant discount. And almost all of them will tend to close that deal as well because they're looking for a good deal and a good discount. And then the last part of this is that this is a great time to offer client kickbacks for referring their friends and family to set up for coaching. And they can kind of play the double bonus game. If a spouse purchases coaching for their wife or vice versa, or for their kids or whatever, and they're the one that actually purchases, they also get a kickback. Maybe their next month is free. Maybe January is free for that person. Or if they do it in November, maybe December is free for that person. So this is a great time to use those referrals to get the referrals to, like, hey, in the discount code or in the notes when you sign up, referred by John Smith or whatever. And then John gets a next month for free. And he also got a great deal for a family member. And now you've created, as we saw a few weeks ago with Andrew and Nikki on the podcast, a building strong family. So we want to support that as much as we can. We want to get as many people in the family in the door as possible. Maybe it's a discounted deal so that for every member of the family that comes in, they get a certain percentage off, or it drops everybody's rate, including the original client, by 20% or 25% or something like that. Again, just play with your margins and make sure you've got a good handle on the metrics there. So the goal here from mid-November, like the week before Thanksgiving, through Christmas, and just know that those sales are going to die the last week before Christmas, right? So by December 20th, by December 18th or 20th, you're not going to sell anymore. This is your time period. This is your window right now. And so you want to try to play the game where you're focusing on times that are not super saturated by other retailers. So that Monday, Tuesday before Thanksgiving, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, maybe even the Sunday night before Thanksgiving, Cyber Monday through Cyber Wednesday, or Cyber Monday through the Wednesday after Cyber Monday. These are all really good times to do it. Small business, I think it's Small Business Tuesday, something like that. So the small business days, that's a great one to do. And actually make a personal post. Make a personal post about how you're a small, if you're US based, American owned company. It's just me and my family, or me and another coach, and try to connect with people so they feel like they're not giving their money to this giant multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporation, and try to actually make a connection there with future potential clients. So that's how we have, over the years, both at Strong, I did this when I owned the gym, and now at Barbell Logic, you'll see similar things for us. You'll see that stuff come up. We've got a full plan of holiday promotions that will come out over the next several weeks, and you can kind of see what we do. And of course, we've got a pretty good sized business and offer several different products and packages between online coaching and the academy and nutrition and turnkey coach for B2B, like all that stuff. So, it's probably going to be a few more things than what you would typically offer, but you'll still see the same gist. Now, when New Year's comes, and actually I would say as soon as Christmas is over, December 26th, which is a great time to start to hammer on this, is December 26th. New Year's Eve, December 30th can be really high sales points for a couple reasons. One, for people that actually are able to use something like an HSA plan or their insurance or some sort of business situation that pays for fitness and coaching and gym memberships, they have an opportunity to save a tremendous amount of taxes and actually purchasing something there at the end of the year. So you can continue to run. You could do an end of the year deal like, hey, purchase all of 2024 in 2023, get the tax write-off, or use up the cafeteria plan if it's, covers that sort of stuff. You can do that as well the last few days of December after things start to calm down and people start to look towards New Year's. Once you get into New Year's, once you get into January, and even before that, if the previous deal I just talked about doesn't apply to people, something has changed. And the thing that changes is, one, they feel stuffed and fat and out of shape, and it's cold outside, and they start thinking about their own fitness. And so they want to do fitness. However, they no longer have the capital to deploy. They can't spend $1,500 buying, 6 months at a time or whatever the thing is. So there is a huge shift in January in both mindset and available capital in the beginning of the year. And so everyone wants to train or exercise or get more fit. You've got these New Year's resolutions. And again, I don't want to prey on those. There's a lot of people that start changing their lives during that time period. There's other people that just, flame out, and that's okay. But everybody wants to train or exercise or get more fit. They start thinking about spring, like, man, I've put on, all this extra weight in the holiday season, in the fall. But they don't have the money to spend. They don't have the large chunks of capital to deploy. So in January, the strategy has to change for you, where the key is to remove the friction to sign up. This is a great time to offer your first month 100% free or your first several sessions free, so that it is incredibly low risk to the client, but it gives you the chance to provide them incredible value during that time. And you should have it completely planned out. Here's exactly the type of value I'm going to provide. When they sign up for this, they pay nothing. I still may give them, a t-shirt or a hoodie, a handwritten card. People love that stuff. And so you get them in, you get them feeling like they're part of the community, they're part of the family, they're part of this, and they're doing something special. And they don't have the money to spend in January 1. But by February 1, and maybe they won't either, but at least in January, they're thinking to themselves, well, by February 1st, I'll be able to start paying for this. And so you give them January for free, or you do whatever you can to remove the friction to get them to sign up and start training, right? And that's a high risk for you. Like, there's going to be some higher amount of churn with people like that who actually flame out and stop training by the 3rd or 4th week of January, and they're never going to actually pay for February. But it's worth it if you provide a great service, if you believe in your service, if you have relatively low churn, if you have relatively high lifetime value of the client. This is a great time to spend a little more money in January on customer acquisition cost. Give them the free month rather than paying it to Zuckerberg or on, Facebook or Google ads. Give that discount to the client themselves to remove the friction so they can start training for free. They can experience it for free, tear down the walls, talk about how everybody that joins in January, they're coming from a place of like sort of emotional frustration and they've put on weight or they're not in a great place. And so you've got to be able to relate to the client and let them feel comfortable. Hey, you're going to come in, you're going to do just fine in this first workout. We're going to start super conservative. We're going to do stuff that we know you can do. We're not going to push you too hard. You're going to come in and have a great time. You're going to walk out of the gym on that first day feeling better than you did when you walked in. That's the key, right? And so remove that friction so that they don't have to pony up a bunch of money in early January, but they can just start to experience your coaching and experience your service and experience the value proposition and the improvement in quality of life. You can improve somebody's quality of life tremendously in that first month. While they aren't going to look tremendously different 30 days later, they are going to feel tremendously different 30 days later. So if you do that well, then February comes around and they start paying their monthly recurring revenue and their clients long-term, right? So that's the key. This is also another great time to give tremendous kickbacks to your clients for referrals. So same sort of thing. So, hey, if one of your clients refers someone else, their month is free as well. So the new client's first month is free and the current client's January is also free, or the next month that they pay, February maybe, is free. And so give those kickbacks, leverage that referral program with your current clients that you have to remove the friction, to get as many people in the doors as you can, and then do everything you can to provide the best quality service you can. That's a great time to do kind of weekend parties at the gym, and maybe you have a free nutrition seminar. Maybe you have like a free nutrition seminar and it's followed up with like really healthy food, but like really delicious food. And it's completely free for anybody. All the clients, whatever, spend some money, go out and barbecue, do grilled chicken and turkey and fresh veggies and a salad, and talk through why we eat this way and how we feel really good. And like healthy food doesn't have to be tasteless. And that's a great time to do that kind of stuff. Free seminars, to give free education, to build that value proposition for people, and it costs them nothing. And so your customer acquisition cost is just the time and effort and any expense it takes to put on things like that. And so to review, mid-November to mid to late December is about helping people find a way, like actually get them to pay for multiple months up front, extract as much capital as you can. Again, not to prey on the client, but because you're able to provide value for them or for their family or friends. And so as the capital is there and is going to be deployed regardless, and they're going to spend it on something ridiculous, on a new TV or an iPhone or something. And certainly fitness is a much better place to spend their money. And then as you transition into the new year, and even in the last few days of December, you can start to really focus on how do I remove the friction to get as many people in as possible without making them spend any money in the beginning. And that's how you strategize holiday promotions and sales. And so hopefully this will help you in your coaching, let you earn and build your clientele and your roster a little bit over the next several weeks. This is a great time to do it. It's the best time of the year to do it. You know, the next best time is in the early spring and people start thinking about summer and going to the lake and going to the beach. You start to think about that and you provide value there as well that, you know, hey, we've got time to lose the 20 pounds that you put on over the winter and we can do that as well. So you just think about that cyclical nature of the year in fitness and figure out what is the primary problem you're trying to solve, help solve the problem, build the value and watch the clients come. Right. And just, you know, post on social media very consistently, at least one post a day, if not several posts a day, provide value, short videos, answer their questions, solve their problems, help them see you as a problem solver, not as a salesman, but as a problem solver for them. And then identify like this is a time of year where they have the money to spend. This is a time of year where they don't have the money to spend, but they're really focused on fitness, and make sure that your deals and your promotions align with that. And that's how you build clientele this time of year. So this has been another episode of the Barbell Logic Podcast Coaching Success Series. Again, I hope you got some value from this. If you did, we love a 5-star review. That's sort of the internet high five. If you like this stuff, it's a huge help to us because it will help other people see the show. It will expose others to this information. And so we would love a 5-star review. Just, you know, and write a few words and say something nice. And again, I always go through those a couple times a month and read them. So would love to have some feedback on the show. If there's topics that you'd like me to talk about in this business world and coaching success world, please let me know. It's easy to shoot me an email, go to the Barbell Logic website and pull my name up on the team page and send me an email or send an email to the podcast, and happy to answer any questions there as well. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family. Be present. Take some time to take that time off of work and be present with family and friends. Really dive in and take some time to take a deep breath. Obviously, I'm preaching to myself as much as I am anybody else to just not be so focused on the day-to-day grind. This is a great time of year. It's Thanksgiving. This is an opportunity for us to be thankful for like what an incredible life we get to live in a free country where we get to train people and improve their quality of life on a daily basis. That's a pretty incredible deal, and it's a pretty incredible life. Thankful for you, grateful for you all giving me your time and listening to the podcast and supporting us over the years, and hope I'm able to continue to bring value to you for many years to come. So have a great Thanksgiving and holiday season. Let me know how it goes on the holiday deals. If you've got other great ideas about how you're going to set up your promotions, I'd love to hear those. Send those to me on an email. I'm happy to respond back or give feedback on what your thoughts are. And I will always respond back to emails within 24 hours. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. All right, have a great one, and I'll see you next Friday.